Let's chat with Disco George. Today, we're talking about security, home security, smart homes with the technology that we have today. Do you have problems sometimes with the Wi-Fi at home and your instruments, your TVs? You can't actually even use them, especially nowadays that we go outside and we use our computer systems, our stereo systems outside. Sometimes it just doesn't work. But today we have VCS and they're going to help you solve all these solutions. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me here.
Well, it's been a while since I've seen you, but I'm so excited to have you here. You've been so busy.
I have.
And well, tell us, I know you're doing lots of residential.
Yes.
But you also do commercial. Let's start with the residential. What's going on with the residential?
So we have a division within the VCS Tech system family. We have a division called VCS Automation, where we specialize in high-end smart home automation, AV work. Okay. So we work with a lot of builders, a lot of spec home builders, a lot of homeowners that are building their house inside Pinecrest, Coral Gables, Key Biscayne, the high-end home areas. And basically we're fulfilling the whole house with smart home theaters, AV around the whole house, multi-zone audio, inside, outside, landscaping audio systems.
Is this like pretty much the famous man caves type?
Yeah, there's houses that they build their own man cave, and basically the man cave is for that guy, right. For his thing. We spec it all out. It's like a theater room, man cave. There's a bar. There's a popcorn machine, TVs everywhere for sports.
Wow! So it's almost like a little movie room.
It's a movie room. A little bit more than just a theater room. Okay. Because it's not just a theater room, but, man cave is for everything, for the guys to be in there, watch sports, be in the bar, smoke a cigar, whatever they want to do.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So tell us, what does it entail? Because, everybody nowadays has a big screen TV.
Correct.
But what do you specialize? What makes VCS the person to go to?
I mean, I'm not the only best one out there, right? There's a lot of good companies out there as myself. But what was the difference about us? Smart home and home automation has been something that's been growing for the last 5 years. Mm-hmm. And there's two different things. There's a DIY, do it yourself, go to Best Buy, Amazon, buy your stuff and do it yourself. And then there's what's called a control system, which we are dealers for Savant and Control 4. So control system is basically the brain, the host that controls your whole home. And TV, audio, lighting, shading control, your gate intercom control your water fountain, control your heater, control your thermostats, all in one app. Versus the DIY side, do it yourself, you have 15 apps to do all that.
Okay.
And nothing communicates with each other.
And can you also do this on a remote?
Yes, we have a remote. There's one up here, sitting up here.
Well, let's see it.
So this is a nice fancy remote. It's actually from Savant. Savant is a control system. Obviously, it's not connected to the system because I took it from my house and brought it here. But with this remote, we install this remote in different rooms. Your master room, your living room, your whatever bedroom there is. And within this remote, you can control that whole room, control the TV,
let me see it.
Control the lights, control your window shades. We are a full shade Lutron dealer. So we do a lot of Lutron shades and Lutron lighting. So within your remote, you could even control scenes, a sleep scene. And when you click scene, we tell the system what to do. Bring down the shades, turn off the lights, turn on the TV to ESPN.
And I also see you have one of those
voice control. Yes.
Voice control.
Yes. Savant has their own voice control. So you're similar to your Alexa, your Siri. You say demands to the control, and it does it.
Let me ask you: can you connect to to Alexa also?
Savant does have every control system is different, but basically Savant has their own like Alexa type of thing. Okay. So it has their own voice control system.
So it's their own system.
It's their own platform. Correct. All right. Correct.
And you also said before that you could control it from your phone.
You could control it from your phone. There's an app on your phone. So there's a lot of rooms that you probably don't want a remote for it, right? But, maybe like the dining room, why have a remote? So on your phone, you could control the audio zone for that dining room, dim the lights. We also have touchscreens that go on the wall, which is basically the same thing as the remote, but a beautiful 8-inch touchscreen on the wall. And there you can control.
Are those also the ones that you could remove? Because I've seen some that you could actually. It's like a tablet that you could just pull right off the wall.
So there's not the ones from Savant, but we could also do iPads that go on the wall. Okay. And there is a bracket that goes on the wall, which you could get and remove the iPad.
Wow.
We download the software, the Savant software or the Control 4 software, whichever control system you decide to go with. They both have apps. You could control the whole home with it. It could be an iPad or it could be their touchscreen.
Can you have multiple iPads?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I have a house that has 5 of them.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, around the whole house.
So all the kids, your wife, everybody has their own iPad and control everything.
And we've done houses where we've put touchscreens within the room. So that touchscreen is programmed to control that room only.
Okay.
So depends on
because then it might...
control the whole house, right?
Exactly.
Right. You want to control that room. We program that touchscreen to control the lights of that room, the shades of that room, the TV of that room, the audio of that room. If you want to listen to Spotify, Apple Music or whatever streaming you use.
And what sound systems, now that you're talking about music, what sound systems do you install? Are you just going with Bluetooth?
So Bluetooth is not a thing anymore when it comes to this because
you just called me old, man.
No, it's all network based. It's all IP based basically. Okay. So when we use a control system, we majority of the time use, for example, Savant. The control system has their own amps. They're IP amps. And when you don't want to get a control system, you just don't want to spend that money because you're in a budget. We are a Sonos dealer. So we install Sonos amps and sound systems to have multi-zone audio around the house and sound bars for your TVs. All right. So it's all Wi-Fi based computer, network based. It's in the air. So wherever your phone is, if you're connected to that Wi-Fi network, it's going to work through the Sonos amp or the control system app.
All right. I also wanted to ask you, because we're talking about the iPads. Nowadays we don't stop being off our phones.
Correct.
And we're always looking at everything. I get notifications all the time if somebody's at my front door.
Right.
Even I have a system also that I get my whole perimeter. So if somebody's jumping the fence, I'm getting that. You could also do that with the iPads, correct?
Correct, and your phone. It's a camera system. Depending on the camera system you have.
Okay.
Our camera systems that we install has notifications. The cameras are AI, so it picks up people, it picks up movement.
Artificial intelligence. It sends you
a notification on the app. Hey, there's a movement here. In our camera system, it's pretty cool. We could draw what's called red burglary lines. So. Okay. Sometimes your camera's facing the street, and every time a car passes by, ding, ding, it's going to come to a point where you're going to turn off that notification. So, for example, my house, I have the line to be a little bit more inside of my driveway. So, for you to go in, somebody had to come into my driveway.
Okay.
And all the cars that pass by, it doesn't bother me.
We've seen a lot of things going on in South Florida.
Yep.
Not recently, I don't know if you saw it on the news. There was a gentleman that was coming home from Publix, and by the time they went inside to put away the groceries, these guys ran in and stole their Bentley. I don't know if you saw that.
I saw it.
A purple Bentley.
I saw it.
I thought it was kind of crazy that they left the keys inside of it.
But they do that a lot.
Yeah. Really?
Oh, yeah. You go to Pinecrest and all these, and they leave their keys inside the car because they're inside the gate. So they think that
they're safe.
They're safe, but they jump over the gate and they just take the car. You see it. I see it all the time. It's crazy.
Tell us. Let's turn it into a little bit about the home security part of your job.
Right.
What do you recommend right now, camera wise?
So when it comes to security, I think the most important thing to have is a burglary alarm system before cameras. Cameras are good to have. Cameras are sometimes it's important to have because you'd see how they did it. Sometimes these guys are breaking are professionals. They're all covered up. You're not really going to see them that well. But to protect your home, to me, a burglary alarm system is important because they're trying to get into your house.
And are you guys doing that too?
Yeah, we do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do that. We do that a lot, residential and commercial. So burglar alarm systems are very important to secure your home and your family and, your assets inside the house.
All right.
Cameras, it's just to see what's going on. Yes, you
get
notifications. If there was a break-in, you could see something. Maybe that guy slipped and this mask fell off, or they're rookies and they showed their face or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or how they did it, or maybe they saw the car go in and they got the license plate. But yeah, we do camera systems. We do gate intercom systems, which we integrate with your gates if they have motor gates, and those intercom systems have notifications as well, cameras, and it records as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Production, can you post a picture of the rack? I wanted to see the rack is over here. Is that pretty much what you would use for?
So that is a residential home. That's actually one of our clients. He's actually the CFO of Bacardi. We did that house was we work with this builder in Pinecrest.
Okay.
He builds a lot of houses in Pinecrest. We do all the low voltage wiring for the house. We pre-wire the house basically for a future home automation. So when the house gets sold, then the new homeowner decides what they want to do.
Okay.
But the house is wired to the T.
And what do you wire it with now?
Cable speakers, 16.2 cable speakers. Every TV gets 4 Cat 6 to them. Wi-Fi access points, Wi-Fi antennas all over the house, touch screens on the walls. We wire it to the T. We work with builders, we work with architects and interior designers. We actually get the floor plans, and myself, we design the whole house for them for a smart home. So on this scenario, in this house, the builder, we pre-wire the whole house for camera, security, everything. And the homeowner decided, hey, I want to do a full-blown smart home, and they got a Savant control system. So that's the rack. That is the brains.
It looks very organized.
Yeah, and that's not even completed yet. That's like halfway completed. You still see some cables in the bottom. The cables in the bottoms are all basically a bunch of speaker cables and stuff like that. But we're very organized. Okay. The client is spending a lot of money. And the last thing you want to see is an owl nest with cables everywhere and not organized. Everything we do is labeled. Those are all the amps, the network, the switches, the home network, the Wi-Fi network. The security system is there. So basically, that's the main. They have an AV closet in their house where that full rack sits there with all their equipment.
Wow. And does that have to stay at a controlled temperature?
Yeah, that room has an AC vent inside of it.
Okay.
And the rack has fans also inside the rack, so it could take off the heat out of there.
Okay. I'm gonna throw a question that I haven't asked you yet. So get ready for this.
Go ahead.
All right. Jeff Bezos calls you. He just bought a $60-something million home that's 100 years old. What do you do? Can you still wire it the same way?
Yeah, we could. We just have to, unfortunately, if the house is already pre-built and done, and we have to run wires around the whole house, it's for TVs, Wi-Fi, speakers, home theater.
So old homes, no problem.
We just
older homes.
Older homes. We could do it. Everything is possible. It's just that we have to set the expectation to the client and say, hey, we got to break walls.
Okay.
We got to break ceilings to get our wires to the location it needs to get to.
So pretty much what you're telling me is if you really want something done like this, expect, if you have an older home, a little
holes in the walls.
Go through the walls.
Listen, we fix it. So
yeah.
So we'll fix all that.
It's going to look beautiful at the end.
At the end, you're not even going to know that there was a hole there.
Beautiful. All right, let's go to commercial. All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about commercial. Obviously, there's been a lot of nowadays, pretty much, you go to any business, you see cameras everywhere, and they're needed. But I think it's not only for inventory purposes, for them losing, but it's also for the employees, for their safety.
Correct.
So let's start with the commercial side. What's going on there?
So we do a lot of commercial when it comes to security. That's basically our bread and butter. Probably could say it's 80% of our business,
Oh,
commercial. Not only commercial, we do government. City of Hialeah is our client. We manage the whole city of Hialeah, all their security systems.
Hialeah!
Hialeah, Fango y Factoria. I love Hialeah. You know, they're a great customer, and you know, we secure everything for them when it comes to access control. You know, the key fobs to open their doors, camera, CCTV, burglary alarm.
Oh, wow.
And we do all that. But when it comes to cameras, it's mostly for liability, and it's a protection for the employee.
Exactly.
I don't think nobody uses it to catch theft or robbers anymore. They're all covered up. You know, it's mostly for liability purposes, to protect their customers and to protect their employees. So that's where a lot of and insurance companies, man, a lot of these customers are not required, but to protect themselves from the insurance, you know, a lawsuit or whatever. Hey,
Right.
This is the video, this is the footage. We did everything we had to do, so we won't get sued.
Okay.
So,
and what's any latest technology that you could talk about that you know, because I've seen like a lot of the recognitions.
Yeah, you know, a lot of AI.
Mm-hmm.
We do, when it comes to commercial, there's a lot of everything's moving to the cloud now. And the reason why it's moving to the cloud is not only to not have equipment on premise, it's less maintenance on equipment, but it's more feasible for the whole AI recognition. It's all cloud-based, running off of servers. So we have camera systems that are all cloud-based AI. It's pretty cool. You know, we register let's say an example, you're an employee and you're always walking into that office. We automatically, the camera picks up your face, and we notify the system, say, hey, this is George. He works here. He's good to go. But if a person comes into the office and that person's face is not registered in the system, it sends an alert.
So it's almost like a zone type thing.
Correct. It sends an alert, say, hey, beep, beep, beep. Somebody not recognized is walking into the office, and whoever decides to get notified gets notified, and then you guys could approach that person. Hey, I'm here to see George. Oh, okay, cool. Come in. So
let me ask you, there's a lot of corporations coming into Miami. I just saw huge companies coming. They're bringing 900 employees to, you know, one of those regular. It's actually at the Lowe's. You know, with the new Lowe's in Coral Gables.
Right.
Did you hear about that? That's coming.
No.
And they're going to be bringing all these employees, but it's one of those empty spaces right now that you have to build to suit. So do you guys do also that type of wiring there?
Network infrastructuring, structural cabling. We do a lot of that as well for commercial. We work with a lot of electricians. When they get these jobs, these bids, they bid all the electrical, and low voltage falls under electrical. So we work with a lot of electrician companies that subcontract us, because we're low voltage contract in the state of Florida, and we do all the network low voltage infrastructure. We work with a lot of IT companies.
Is that also what they call structural cabling?
Structural cabling, correct. So we work with a lot of IT companies that they have their clients, and they say, hey, Miguel, you know, we're not low voltage. They don't want to do low voltage. They're just the IT computer people. Hey, we have this client that's moving or building a new office. We need to run 300 cables around the whole office. Build the rack for us and let everything, terminate all the cables, the jacks, the patch panels, and we leave the rack ready for the IT company. And all the IT company comes is just puts their equipment, plugs in the cables, and they're good to go.
So pretty much you do the actual equipment. They do the IT work. You guys don't touch.
I don't touch the IT equipment stuff, like the routers, the switches. I don't touch that. I leave the network infrastructure, the cabling, ready for them, for the IT companies to go in there and put in their equipment and program their equipment.
Okay.
So all the cables and connections, that's what we do. And we do also, part of that is fiber optic.
Okay.
And a lot of people get confused. Oh, fiber optic to the home, because that's a new thing now with AT&T. No, that's not the fiber optic we do.
It's not you. You don't have universe.
No, what we do, what we do fiber optic is we work with a lot of, company accounts that have big warehouses, big offices. And we need to run fiber from the second floor to the first floor, or because a Cat 6 cable could only run 320 feet. It can't pass that. So if we see that it's a big office and that Cat 6 is going to be more than 320 feet, we have to put a secondary rack within the building, which is called an IDF.
Okay.
The main is MDF, IDF. So then we'll have to run fiber from that MDF to the next rack. So they won't lose any speeds. and network. So
there's no lapse, pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, that's. Let me ask you a question. This is you're gonna probably laugh at it. I've been to this, and this is actually, I'm kind of going back to a little to residential. I've been down to Pinecrest, these $1 million homes, and there's no reception whatsoever.
None.
As a residential or commercial, because somebody comes to their business and they can't even use their phone. It's kind of weird because then people have to actually talk to each other, right?
Right.
But is there anything that you as VCS can do to help that or not?
To strengthen the cell signal, there is equipment. There's a company called SureCall, and there's other manufacturers that they sell these amplified cell signals.
Okay.
So basically, we put antennas within the house, and then we put an antenna outside the roof of the house. And what that does is it tries to amplify signal from the nearest antenna.
Okay.
If it's Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, and it brings down that LTE, that 4G LTE into the home. So it's called a cell booster. We've installed them. We installed them in commercial. We installed them in houses where there's bad reception. But nowadays, with Wi-Fi, the most important thing is Wi-Fi.
Okay.
We do Wi-Fi networks only for residential. We don't do Wi-Fi networks for commercial. That's the IT company.
Okay.
We do Wi-Fi for residential because it's all our whole ecosystem. We have to control the whole smart home system. So we have to be in control of that. But nowadays, all these new phones work off of Wi-Fi calling. So there's no reason for you to install a cell booster inside a home when your phones do Wi-Fi calling.
Have you had any businesses call you and tell you they want a signal disruptor?
I've never had a business tell me that, but I know a couple of businesses that have that, and it works.
Really?
It does work.
It's because a friend of mine recently went to a fine dining in Miami Beach.
And they do that.
And at the beginning, they were kind of upset, but they're like, when you come here,
you want to enjoy.
We want you to focus on your meal and not be on your phone.
Exactly.
And I was like, which is good.
Yeah.
But
it's an addiction we have with these phones.
Yeah.
It is.
But I was like, wow. I was like, it's funny that some people won't bring to expand it, and the other ones to knock it out completely.
Exactly.
So tell me, how did this all begin? Because you have like a little niche.
I do. It all began. We've always been. Our family. We've always been in the technology, world and in the industry. Prior to this, in 2016, I started this business, VCS Tech Systems, in 2016. Technically, what VCS stands for, people ask me, it stands for Vidal Communication Services, which is our mother company.
Okay.
So my parents started the business in 1988. We were in the whole CV radio, UHF business. My dad started in the radio. And in 97, Nextel came out. And my dad sold a lot of his 800, 900 megahertz spectrum to Nextel because they needed to grow their network here.
Oh, wow. Fast
forward in 2007, Sprint bought Nextel. We were now called Sprint. And between 2010 to 2016, we grew from 2 stores all the way to 12 stores.
Oh, wow.
And within Miami-Dade County, Broward, and West Palm. I fell into this industry around in 2014, 2 years before we sold. I fell into the security side is where it called my attention because we were, in 2014, our insurance companies stopped insuring us of all the break-ins we were getting in our stores. We were getting break-ins left and right. Every week we were getting breaking into one of our stores once a week.
It's crazy.
And it still happens. And you just could imagine how much is an iPhone?
Yeah.
And how small is it?
Yeah.
So on an average daily basis, I had anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 worth of phone inventory. And just imagine how much they could put in one bag.
One bag, yeah.
So we were having a lot of issues with local alarm security companies. We went with the big national companies thinking that going with the big national is the way to go. Big company. It was even a worse experience. And I just got frustrated. I got frustrated, and I told my dad, and I said, you know what? I'm going to try to do this myself. If we can't get the service we want, especially that we're self-insured, every time they break in, steal $100,000 worth of inventory, is coming out of our pockets.
Yeah.
So I told my dad, something, we're going to do this ourselves. So when we started the planning of me studying the industry, how do I get into the industry, came the opportunity to sell the business. And I had to put all that on hold. We sold the business. It was a fast sale. It happened in basically the negotiations started in the beginning of the year, and in June of 2016, we sold all of our stores. Wow. So technically, I started this business in the beginning of 2017. I started with the focus of security, and to help companies secure the business and not do the mistakes that other companies did. Yeah. So I came in with the focus of, I know what you're suffering, I know what you're going through, and I help them do that and protect their business. So that's how.
Yeah, you came with solutions.
I came with a solution, and I know what they're going through because I was there.
Right.
I know what I have to do. I know where to protect, where to put the sensors. We have a house that it's a client. It's very, very quick story where you're talking about all those break-ins in residential. And there is a client of mine. It's actually not. It's not a client. It's actually I have a friend that does the same thing that we do, and he got this lead, and we helped him out. They broke into his house, multi-million-dollar home, broke into his house, alarm system with a big national company. It took 5 minutes for police to get there. They wiped the whole house out.
Wow.
And the owner's petrified. Like, they just wiped me out. I have an alarm system. And with my help with him, because I have experience in it, we just did perimeter sensors around the whole property. So we put posts around the property with outdoor beam sensors. So even before they even try to get into the house, if they cross that line, the alarm is going to go off.
Yeah. It's all about securing your family and be able to go to sleep in peace.
Exactly. So those are the things that I do for businesses as well. We do a lot of perimeter protection for companies. They have yards. They don't want to get their trucks broken into. So we added this commercial, security system into this residential home to protect their home. So those are the things that I've been hit so many times. I've lost money because insurance didn't want to insure us anymore. And that's how I go and help companies to secure the business.
Tell us right here in the main camera.
Yes.
Where these people could reach you at, because I know there's going to be lots of people that are going to be calling you.
Right. So, we're big in Instagram. You can find us on Instagram at VCS Tech Systems, on Facebook as well, VCS Tech Systems. We have a website, www.vcstechsystems.com. You could call our office, 305-709-3827. If I don't answer, it's my assistant, Cindy. She'll probably answer the call. But you could find us there,
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
You want to do any shout outs before we close out?
Let me a shout out to my parents. My parents from Miami Heat.
Miguelito,
they I thank them for everything. I'm here today because of them, and the business that I have. They've always supported me. And of course my wife, she's always supported me as well, and
your beautiful kids.
And my 3 beautiful kids.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so happy to see you. I've known you for such a long time.
Yeah.
Since you were single, now you're a family man.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's incredible how time goes.
It's incredible how time goes by. It's a blessing, man.
Thank you for your time, my friend.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.
You got it.
If you love the show, please give us a like. And if you really like it, please share it with all your friends, because the important thing here is family.